we're a minute early.
We're live. We're live.
Thank you. All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome. I would like to call the Monday, April 20th, 2026 Board of Trustees meeting to order. Can we have the roll call, please?
Yes, Mayor Rogan,
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Williams,
Present.
Trustee Hamrick,
Present.
Trustee Dottie,
Present.
Trustee Lowell, Trustee Browning, and Trustee Williams. Allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I will read the land acknowledgement, then we'll take a short reflective moment of silence. We acknowledge with respect that the land on which we stand, live, and learn is the traditional territory of the Ute, Cheyenne, and Arapaho peoples. We also recognize the 58 other tribal nations that make up the state of Colorado. Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Is there a second?
A second.
Any discussion? Call for the vote.
And that motion passes unanimously.
You. Now is the time for audience business. If anybody would like to address the outgoing board, I don't know, is there a sign up sheet?
There was one there. If you didn't get the sign-up sheet, you're welcome just to.
Is there anybody on it? No. Anybody like to address the outgoing board tonight?
Thank you.
Address your complaints to the incoming. Staff reports, Boulder County Sheriff's report.
I do not, the sheriff did not send me anything as update, so I'm assuming that no news is good news. Don't have anything.
Okay, what about the administrator?
Administrator's report is rather short as well. It's been an unusual couple of weeks with this transition. And so, of course, you all know the results of the municipal election, that those will be shown in the minutes. We are having on April 29th, a meeting at the library for the neighbors involved with the Safe Routes to School project, which mostly involves 3rd Avenue and Stickney, regarding sidewalk installation around the elementary school. So all are welcome to that. Probably the biggest news for right now has to do with wildfire mitigation. And I know we keep saying this, but I think we're going to continue to hear this regularly, that both the town of Lyons and Boulder County now have their wildfire mitigation rebate program online for 2026. And depending on the efforts that are made by a property owner, you're eligible up to $1,000 combined rebate for certain mitigation around your home. And as part of that as well, the Lyons Fire Protection District and Wildfire Partners will be hosting a limb drop-off Saturday, May 9th from 8 to noon at the Public Works Facility. It's for all county resident, all district residents. Free of charge to bring your limbs and drop those off. And we will start seeing wildfire mitigation work around town, both in the venue of the goat mowers will be back this year. And then there's also going to be several different mitigation projects and mowing that we just do annually before the season gets worse. And then probably the biggest news this week is about Earth Day. As you guys know, we are not celebrating just Earth Day, we are celebrating Earth Week. And there's been activities this past weekend. Tomorrow night, there's a composting workshop. Wednesday night, there is the film 2040, an environmental film. Thursday night, making sense of heat pumps and rebates. And Saturday will be at the Orchard, a Blossom Fest, tree planting and river cleanup. And Saturday is the Big Earth Expo at Bone Park most of the day, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And other than that, just want to remind the incoming board that we do have finance orientation tomorrow night at 4 o'clock here at Town Hall. And that we are preparing for a joint meeting with the Boulder County Commissioners on April 29th. That's all I have this week.
Thank you. Any questions for Administrator Simmons?
So I'm really excited about the expositions on Saturday. Can you tell me whether, or tell us rather, whether there will be an option to sign up for the Wildfire Partners Assessment? I believe they're gonna have a table there, but.
There is. I show,
Sign up.
it says information on home assessments, mitigation and proactive planning for wildfires. They'll both be the Lions Fire Protection and Wildfire. There's information. So I would think so.
I hope there's a sign up sheet.
Okay, I can pass that on. Okay,
Thanks.
and then lastly, I just want to thank all the outgoing members for your service to our community. It's been just a pleasure and honor to work with all of you. And I just wish you the absolute best as you move forward. And I don't think many people know the amount of hours that you guys put in and the amount of energy and effort into decisions. And so thank you so very much. And stop by Town Hall anytime, come see us. And I don't have a report on the next one. And congratulations to those of you who are returning and those who will be sworn in. And I'll be talking with them more. But tonight, thank you to all of you who have helped serve our community. Public service is not for the lighthearted.
Thank you. Is there a legal update?
A couple things, the legislature I wanted to update you guys on. I know you've been interested in the lot splitting bill. It's one that has not passed yet, but everyone expects that to pass. Still some work to be done on the lot sizes. I know that Mayor-elect Browning's been really on top of. I just want to keep you an update on that one. Also for both you and for the new board as well that is listening, the noise ordinance, not noise ordinance, but the noise bill that failed to pass. I've been discussing with Robert Sheasley at CML various options for that, given kind of Lions situation with Planet Bluegrass and other live music venues, about ways we may be able to coexist with the world we live in now. And so there'll be a lot more information for the new board, but it's not all doom and gloom there, it turns out. So those are the two biggest ones I had that, I felt like you guys would like an update on. If there's anything else, just please let me know.
I will say that I heard the noise abatement bill is going to come back next session.
Good.
So that final chapter is going to be ready. Okay, we have no ordinances and public hearings tonight. My apologies. Clerk Vasquez, would you please read the consent agenda into the record?
Yes, item 1 is resolution 2026-21, the resolution of the town of Lyons, Colorado, approving the lease agreement with Team Colorado Whitewater Racing Club Incorporated for property located at Outlot A, Block 2, Lyons Valley Park, 8, Amendment A, Lyons, Colorado, 80540. Item 2 are the April 6, 2026 regular Board of Trustees meeting minutes, and item 3 are the April accounts payable.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the consent? Second.
Second.
Anything anyone would like to remove this? Right. Consent.
And that motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. No boards and commissions, no general business, so we will move right along to trustee reports. Mayor Pro Tem.
It's been my real honor for the last 4 years to serve this town, 2 on the town board, 2 as mayor pro tem. And I came to this task because I was called to it. What is a calling? And now I'm speaking to the new folks coming onto the board. What is a calling? I have 4 degrees in theology. Is it from God? I don't know. I know it's in your gut that there's something you must do. And I also know as a therapist that if you say to me, I have found my calling. It's this. I can't wait to do it. I cannot wait to do it. This is my calling. My whole life has been leading to this. That's not your call. That's someone else's call. Because there's only one appropriate response to your call. And that response is, oh shit. Because you think to yourself, I do not have the tools I need to do this job. And here's the thing, those of you coming onto the board, you do not have the tools you need to do this job, but you have the ability. That's what a call is about. It's about the ability. And if you have the ability, well, you figure out the tools. So the first 2 years, I knew nothing. I got here not knowing the difference between a resolution and an ordinance. But I learned quickly, and that was a fantastic board to work with. The last 2 years as mayor pro tem and last summer as acting mayor, I learned more. But I leave still a novice. And those of you who arrive as novices, well, you are called to this. And if you're frightened, good. You should be. You have the ability. You'll figure out the tools. Lastly, I want to thank our staff, particularly Victoria, the rest of the board, and Holly, who I think has been an utterly fantastic mayor.
I can. I'll make an effort. I have nothing to report. I just want to say goodbye to those I have served with over the last 2 years. You serve with people long enough, you become friends, you become almost family-like with your relations with them. To Dave, I admire your insight and your level-headedness. To Tanya, your passion is unquestionable. I really admire it. You're the backup leader, I guess, Paula, but you did an excellent job. And to Holly, I have nothing but gratitude. You run this board in a professional, wonderful, just a great way. So thank you very much for that.
Mayor LaFrentine.
Yes, I just want to say what an honor and privilege it's been to serve with this group. I've served with, I guess, many different groups. And they've all been different. And as Tim said, you learn things all the time. I've been on and off this 8 years like this. I'm still learning as I go. And it's already learning with the new group like I'm with the last one. I also want to thank our town staff. We've got some of the best staff people anywhere. We were all here tonight. They're all experts in their field and we couldn't get along without them. And I'd just like to say also that it was Mayor Pro Tem and I, before we had the election campaign, we met a couple of times and agreed we were going to try to run the kind of campaign that people in the US should expect to run. Because you talk about issues, you don't get into down in the gutter and talk about personalities and that kind of thing. You try to keep it at a high level. I think we did that. And we actually share a lot of things in common. My Astros are doing terrible and her Mets are doing worse. So good luck to your team and my team needs it.
Trustee Williams.
I'd just say that these positions that we take for the town are temporary. They're pretty ethereal. They come and they go. Mine was the shortest, I think. I came in about 8 months ago to pinch hit after somebody stepped out. But others have served for longer. What is permanent about all of this is the relationships that we form, the sense of family that we have as a community, the respect that we have for staff, for colleagues, for people who've become friends and who've become inspirations to all of us in these positions and our next positions and for the things that we just go on to do in Lions and around the world and in our lives. So thank you, all of you who've put a bunch of time and energy into the work, but also into helping the rest of us along, getting me seated and helping me understand what it was that we were here to do. And I'm happy to continue that work. I'm especially happy to continue to be what I hope will be your friend and your representative and a member of your family, like you'll always be a member of mine.
Trustee Harriman?
It's been an honor and a privilege to work with town staff, the board of trustees, mayor. It's been a great learning experience. I was the only rookie come this past term until Lee surpassed that. But there is a lot of learning. Every meeting I learned from every one of you up here, every meeting from the staff. It's been a great experience. So I'm didn't run for re-election. I've got 3 grandsons to deal with here shortly, so I'm looking forward to that. And after spending 5 years on the PCDC, and now 2 years here, I'm ready to get my Monday nights back. So. But thank you all. It's been a great experience, and I look forward to sitting out there in those chairs.
Trustee Rockman?
Okay. I'm gonna end on a note of gratitude. I can't promise I won't cry because this feels really emotional. Darn it. I gotta get forward. I want to thank the Student Advisory Commission for their work on the dedicated art space to solve the issue of graffiti. I am so impressed with these young people. I think Nico's here. I think I saw him earlier. He chairs a committee. And they're just doing great work. And I'm just so proud of you guys. And then Claudia is here, the chair of the Lions Arts and Humanities Commission. Claudia, you do such great work on that commission. I was looking at the new sculpture that was just installed on Main Street near Main Stage called Whispers of Spring. And as I took the golf cart tour today with my friends from France, we were looking at murals that the commission would call out to artists for on Broadway here and even on the wall of the town hall and all the different creative outlets. And I saw our new municipal flag flying above the visitor center, so that was really cool. Kay is here. I, was with Kay for 3 years on the Housing and Human Services Kitchen. I was there as liaison. And Kay is just such a great leader and advocate for human services and Lions and also advocating for income-aligned housing. Kay, I'm so thrilled that 4 years later, we have 2 medical providers in town and a dentist. We've come such a long way from 2022 where we really didn't have any of that. So that's such a big deal for our community. And as I emailed Mayor Browning earlier, I just wanted to remind you of the important work that the elected officials working group of Boulder County is doing to prevent homelessness. And just so grateful to be a part of that discussion. And we may not have that issue here in Lions, but it does affect us at a regional level. And it's something that we need to be thinking about. And Lions has led the way in ADUs. And I know that's their focus right now. There's going to be a really great presentation coming up in May on the tiny village in Austin, Texas. So it'd be really great to send a representative to that meeting. And I just honestly, I have so much gratitude for my fellow trustees here. Mayor Rogan, you have just been such an inspiring leader. I've learned so much. Every single time I sit here for the last 4 years, I have just watched you just lead with compassion and intelligence and just by example, really. So that's been inspiring. And then Mayor Porto Williams, we've been here for 4 years together. Same thing. I mean, you're just all inspiring. So I really appreciate the intelligence that comes here and just I mean, it's not really about it, but somebody said passion earlier. It really is. For people to spend several hours every other Monday sitting here and spending their Sundays instead of with their families, but actually pouring over tons of material. I've always said it takes 1 hour of preparation for every hour of meeting. So if we are here from 5:30 to 10:30, that's 5 hours of meetings. It takes at least 5 hours of reading documentation in advance. So that's 10 hours minimum just for one boarding meeting. And that doesn't include the LURA meetings or the Licensed Liquor Authority or the special meetings or our commissions. So it's a huge commitment. And I'm so grateful to Julie and to Mariah and to Jen and who else is out there? Amy is out there. Where's Amy? There she is, way back there. And I'm so grateful. And for Lee for coming back and for Mark for coming back. I mean, Greg, I'm so grateful you guys for stepping up and taking this responsibility on. It's such a huge responsibility. Every single time I grapple with something big, I always ask myself, what would Laverne do? She's right there in the corner. She's a reminder to you. You have her portrait right there. It's just, it's an awing, kind of like a, what's the word, I guess? It just feels like such a huge responsibility to think about the safety of our community and what's best for our community. And it's been such a privilege to serve you these last 4 years. So thank you for entrusting us. Thank you to staff. Oh my gosh, this lineup of rock stars here. I mean, between Victoria and Cassie and Lisa and Aaron and Dolores, and we have Brandon over here. And Kim's back there. I mean, and Dave, there's Dave. Oh my gosh, Dave. I'm so sorry. You deserve such a huge thanks for keeping our community so beautiful. Again, on that golf cart tour today, I mean, just our parks are just gorgeous. The park host is there already at Boulder. John's back at Bone Park. He was so sweet. He stopped to say hi. I mean, you guys, you've just run such a tight ship with so few resources. And I just want you to know that you can always call on me. I'm here for you. We've got your back. We're a small town. We're a small community, and we can do better together. I firmly believe that, but we have to work together. And so even though I may not be in this capacity anymore, I will always be a phone call away, a golf cart ride away. Whenever you need me, I'm there. Thank you. All right.
Oh my gosh, well, I finally got Mayor-elect Browning to go to Dr. Cog with me. And it was a great meeting. It was very nice to be recognized there. And I would suggest that staff connect with Dr. Cog about their heat pump program. I can't, do you remember what it's called off the top of your head with it? But there's money. Okay, is the upshot.
Word money.
There's money. So I was on the PCDC for a year, and then I was a trustee in 2020 to 2022 with Trustee Lowell and Mayor-elect Browning during the COVID years, which was quite a trip. And then mayor for 4 years. And so I've been doing this for 7 years now, and it's not my professional background. I don't have political science. I am a creator. I work for advertising agencies and do strategy and writing and creative design. So this was an entirely new world that I just jumped into with both feet. And I am so, so, so grateful to this community and to my fellow trustees and to staff for the opportunity to learn so much from each and every one of you and to represent this town. It is really the honor of a lifetime to do that. And when I told Kevin Baumer, who's the executive director of the Colorado Municipal League, that I wasn't running for office again, he's very tall and I'm very short. And we were standing there and he looked down at me and he goes, "You all really punch above your weight there in Lions." And I said, "Yeah, we do. And we always have, and we will continue to." And it is so wonderful to have that reputation of Lions is going to lead the way. Lions led the way in flood recovery. Lions led the way in ADUs. Lions leads the way. And I am so proud to have been a part of that. And I'm so grateful to each of my trustee colleagues, and especially to Mayor Pro Tem for so graciously stepping in this summer as acting mayor and doing such a wonderful job. You are an incredible partner. And, you know, the really beautiful thing about democracy is that it makes room for fresh ideas and fresh energy and fresh work. And I am just so pleased to be working with Mayor-elect Browning on a peaceful transition of power. And he knows he can call on me anytime. There's a 95% chance I'll do.
No investigations.
And, you know, finally, I just want to say, you know, my dad of blessed memory always used to say that we each have a finite amount of time on this earth. And we should each try to leave it just a little bit better than it was when we found it. And so I thank you for the opportunity to do my best at doing that. I take it there is no summary of action items.
There is one.
There was one, the sign up for the wildfire partners.
I need to connect with both of them. Yes.
Oh, $200 million.
So we have two, yeah, two actions.
Thank you. Okay, with that, is there a motion to adjourn sine die?
So.
Is there a second?
I second.
Call for the vote.
And that motion passes unanimously.
Two.
It's called.
I'll pay for the screen. Right.
Dolores?
Yep, we're live. All right, this is the town clerk, Dolores Vasquez. The time is now 7:34 PM, and I call the Monday, April 20th, 2026 regular Board of Trustees meeting to order.
So the first. Do you want to say the first item of business, Dolores?
Incoming, yes. The first item of business, Judge Brown will be swearing in the new mayor and trustees.
We're gonna do it one at a time. Put out your name in case anybody's wondering.
I'm just gonna read this. You read it and your photo. All right, I, Julie Jacobs, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
That I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Colorado,
the Constitution of the State of Colorado,
and the Town of Lyons Municipal Code,
and the Town of Lyons Municipal Code,
and faithfully perform the duties of the office of trustee of the Town of Lyons,
the duties of the office of trustee of the Town of Lyons,
upon which I am about to enter.
upon which I am about to enter.
Thank you.
It's okay. I think I will.
Thank you.
Would you like one photo together real quick?
Sure.
Could they, those people, there you go. Anybody want, Sean, I can get your picture. It's a big day.
I've read it soon.
Okay.
Yikes.
1, 2, 3, good.
Thank you. Okay.
It's very tricky. It'd be better to go.
I, Amy Schwartz, do swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Colorado, and the Town of Lyons Municipal Code, and faithfully perform the duties of the office of trustee of the Town of Lyons, upon which I'm about to enter. Dolores can get you copies.
Can we take
One more
photo?
quick
Yeah.
picture.
Yeah. Are you sure okay, pictures in that one? Okay. We're down. We're down.
Please be careful. Maybe we could split the desk so people could come through and there.
There we go.
It makes the attorney, you know.
Do swear that I will support the Constitution of the United
I
States,
swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Colorado,
the Constitution of the State of Colorado,
and the Town of Lyons Municipal Code,
and the Town of Lyons Municipal Code,
and faithfully perform the duties
and faithfully perform the duties
of the trustee of Town of Lyons,
of trustee of Town of Lyons,
upon which I am about to enter.
upon which I am about to enter.
Congratulations. sir.
Thank you.
All right. You can sign that here?
Yeah.
You don't get up that easy.
Like I've already done a few of these.
All right,
you.
congratulations. Alright. Yes. It's a little bit better. All right. I, Lee Williams,
I, Lee Williams,
do swear that I will support
do swear that I will support
the Constitution of the United
the
States,
Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Colorado,
the Constitution of the State of Colorado,
and the Town of Lyons Municipal Code,
and the Town of Lyons Municipal Code,
and faithfully perform the duties
and faithfully perform the duties
of the office of trustee of the Town of Lyons,
of the office of trustee of the Town of Lyons,
upon which I am about to enter.
upon which I am about to enter.
Welcome back. You're gonna do a quick photo. You need to sign.
Yes,
You got me.
You got you now. Town owns you now.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes, that's the rules. Thank you. I'm gonna sign this and leave it, and then we can do this. I need you. Nice to meet you. I am Mariah McCreary.
I, Mariah McCreary,
Do swear that I will support
do swear that I will support
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Colorado,
the Constitution of the State of
and
Colorado,
the Town of Lyons Municipal Code,
and the Town of Lyons Municipal Code,
and faithfully perform the duties
and faithfully perform the
of
duties
the office of trustee of the Town of Lyons,
of the office of trustee of the Town of Lyons,
upon which I'm about to enter.
upon which I am about to enter.
Congratulations. You have to just sign here. Yes, it's, I'm gonna print your name. Perfect, thank you. Good luck. All right, we have. All right, ready? Okay. I, Mark Browning,
I'm Mark Browning.
do swear that I will support
Do swear that I will support
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Colorado,
the Constitution of the State of Colorado,
the Town of Lyons Municipal
the
Code,
Town of Lyons Municipal Code,
and faithfully perform
and faithfully perform
the duties of the office of Mayor of the Town of Lyons,
the duties of the office of Mayor of the Town of Lyons,
on which I am about to enter.
on which I'm about to enter.
Congratulations.
Oh, there's the guy.
Mayor, turn around.
Thank you, Judge Brown.
Yes.
I would ask the clerk to call the roll.
Boy, this is gonna be new to me. Okay, Mayor Browning,
Present.
Trustee Jacobs,
Present.
Trustee Schwartz, Trustee Lowell, Mayor Pro Tem Wingard, Trustee Williams,
Present.
and Trustee McCreary.
Present.
The agendas are in review. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda as submitted? You have a second? All in favor? Yes.
So it needs to tell trustee McCreary.
There you go.
There we go. That motion passes unanimously.
Next item on the agenda is audience business, and I would ask if any member of the, actually, the next item on the agenda is the appointment and confirmation of the mayor pro tem. The mayor pro tem, after conferring with her, is going to be Jen Wingard. And I would like to inform everybody that either run for trustee or to be mayor pro tem, you are not required to forfeit a long planned, paid for in advance trip that you had committed to before various people, including me, including former Mayor Rogan, convinced you to run for the board. Jen Wingard, our new mayor pro tem, is taking a much deserved trip, and she will rejoin us in a couple of weeks, and we look forward to having her serve in that capacity. The next item is audience business, and I would ask if there any member of the audience that wishes to address the board. The appropriate. Yeah, if anybody, there's the card right side up. Actually, I will call on Case Parks as the
I don't need that, and I'm gonna move out of the way so I can see you.
Okay.
Case Sparks, 2169 Apple Valley. For those of you new to the board, a couple weeks ago, we had a great presentation in a workshop about the Sundance Festival. And rumor had it, there will be a Sundance task force. And I want to go on record as chair of the HHSC Housing and Human Services Commission, that I have a member who's very skilled and is very interested in being on that task force. So should you draw up some names, I will give you one. And if you don't ask, I'll probably give it anyway. Thank you.
I don't have to walk up there. It's Christy Brown,
Judge Brown?
oh, okay, did that remove so I couldn't see you? Thank you.
Peter, would you like to make your comments?
That was it.
Peter,
Oh, that was his,
address the board.
Just I couldn't see.
Oh, okay.
Trustee Jacobs' name.
oh, okay.
Sorry.
Welcome, former trustee Baumgartner. Thank you for coming. Next item is the consent agenda. We have a resolution of the town, one the town officers. This is something that is required by the town code at the start of every term. Those officers are listed in the. I'll read them. The resolution calls for the appointment of Dolores Vasquez as town clerk, Maria Marquez Rubio as deputy town clerk, Brandon Dittman as town attorney, Kristen Brown as municipal judge, and Cassandra Ostone as town treasurer. Is there any, do I have a motion with respect to that resolution? Is there a second? I'll second. Motion made and seconded for the appointment of town officers. Is there any discussion? If not, then I call for the vote.
And that motion passes unanimously.
Next item is boards and commissions. The first appointment I will announce tonight is Douglas Matthews to the Planning and Community Development Commission. Because 3 DCDC members were elevated, I guess you would call it that, elected, yes, the board of trustees, there are now 4 members remaining on the planning commission, so it's important that we need to make sure we get at least one new member appointed as soon as possible. Doug Matthews, as many of you know, was a candidate for the board of trustees, and also has served as the chair of the Citizens IGA task force. He's well suited for that position, so it's important. Doug Matthews to the PCDC. Also under boards and commissions, since the election, I've been discussing with each of the newly elected trustees their preferred choices to serve as liaison for to town boards and commissions. We have more boards and commissions than we do trustees, so some will be doing double duty. I'm pleased to say that each of the trustees who submitted first, second, sometimes third choices, that I was able to honor each of their first choices for their commissions. So I hope that that will work out well for them and the commissions. And so those appointments will be to the Planning Commission, Amy Schwartz, to the Parks and Recreation Commission, and to the Ecology Advisory Board, Greg Lowell, to the Historic Preservation Commission, Lee Williams, to the Economic Vitality Commission and the Sustainable Futures Commission, Ryan McCreary, the Housing and Human Services Commission, Julie Jacobs, to the Utilities and Engineering Board, Jen Wingard, and I, as mayor, will serve as a liaison to both the Lions Arts and Humanities Commission and the Student Advisory Commission. Next item is general business, and the first item on there is discussion and direction on formation of a Sundance Film Festival task force, as Ms. Case Bars indicated earlier. I'll start that discussion by providing a little background. The prior board had a considerable discussion and presentation at the last meeting by Jill Grundo, who I believe is the state coordinator for the Sundance Film Festival. She informed us that many cities and towns in the greater area around Boulder are acting through task forces to try to bring events that would help local businesses and music venues and that type of thing. After that meeting, former Mayor Pro Tem Williams came up with the idea of a local task force. She went forward with that, and initially had volunteered to actually head up that task force, which I felt was a great idea, and she was the perfect person to head it up. And she's also been talking to potential volunteers. We're talking for one that they mentioned as well. But as of yesterday evening, actually, Mayor Pro Tem Williams informed me that she has accepted an interim pastorate of a church. She has a long, distinguished career in church service out of town and indeed out of state. And she will be traveling extensively in months to come, and much of her time will be occupied in that position. So she is discussing among the people that she had already talked to who might be willing to serve as chair. For someone on the town board of commission, a town citizen who's called, as Mayor Pro Tem Williams put it, is to chair an important task force. Please contact town staff or contact me, and we can consider that. But this is something that the board needs to discuss and get input on. We have appointed various task forces to do things in the past. I mentioned the IGA task force. After the flood, there were a number of housing task forces that asked the citizens. Task forces are formed by resolution of the board and vote of the board. And the resolution, which we don't have before us tonight, this is just a preliminary discussion. We'll discuss things like who exactly is on it, what the term of the task force will be, and what their duties are. So I'll open that subject for discussion if anybody wishes to have suggestions, comments, but
Yeah, I think it has to be at least 6 weeks, and it has to be as quickly as possible, given that all the other towns have been spun up on Sundance. We also have to have representation from the business community, and the hospitality businesses that we have in town. But moreover, we need to start thinking of some sort of town regulation on short-term rentals, which I think will probably bear what we currently have on the books. But keep in mind, this is a 10-year contract with the Sundance Film Festival, so whatever we put in place is going to be good for another 9 years after this one. I think the question we have to ask ourselves, though, in putting together the regulation, what is its purpose? Is it for public safety, for the fire department, the police department, know who's living in at a given address, if there's multiple things in there? Or is it for the benefit of the town? I mean, what are we going to put a charge for? Are we going to charge a licensing fee for the short-term rentals, and what would that licensing fee be? Are we going to make an attempt to collect the lodging tax as well on this, which I think is important? But it's so we have to ask ourselves a question: is it public safety? Is it for municipal finance? Or is it for the benefit of the greater community, especially businesses downtown? So there's three questions in the task force.
I think it's really important, like 6 weeks, get it up and going,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. I agree with that. Feels like all three of those things are the priorities for the short term. Renting policy, and I know there's other municipalities we can look at and see if that fits for us. I guess one of my questions would be around the term, since it's a 10-year deal. What do we need to launch it? And then what's the ongoing governance structure, and how's that report back to the BOT?
For those who weren't here, I can make a prior presentation, it's done. It is 10 years, but something, material changes after 2 years, which is for the first 2 years, all official events of the Sundance Festival must take place in Boulder. After that, there could be official events in Lions and Estes Park and other places, so it is a 10-year deal. Probably after year 2, there will be, we need to look at other discussion.
Yeah, I think I agree with timeliness, and I think, it's a shame we're a little behind the ball, but the advantage that we can take of that is what are other places doing? And, they have already done a little bit of discussing problem solving, so it's not reinvent the wheel. We need to, certainly we're different, we need to. But let's pick the brains of those who are already.
Yeah, I think there are some model where we get started on other first.
Yeah, and I like the idea of course, following up with Kay, but how do we engage like all the boards to see who already lives here, who has, these skill sets, and who we can call upon in our own already artsy community?
I'd say some of our tasks will be defensive, making sure that we have safety and we have the proper accounting and we have tax revenue collection. I think some of it is also looking for the economic and cultural lift that we can get out of all of this. So some of it is what we're doing on behalf of our custody of the town government and our support of town staff and their roles. But much of it, I think, will be about seeing what we can make in Lions of this opportunity. And I think that's both the mission of the task force and our mission as board members.
And I would add that I've already approached this, actually, the Economic Vitality Commission has already had some preliminary discussions about this, and I've requested the chair of the EDC, and Mariah will be the liaison to see if the EDC would like to nominate at least one member for the task force, so they would have representation, we could coordinate with them, so. We don't have to take a formal vote of this, it's direction and to the town staff, but from what I hear from the board, I think the direction would be for the town staff to work on the drafting the resolution to become the task force, modeling it after things that have been done in other communities, and all of us, also with the help of Benedict Williams, so that she could still be in contact with the people she's already talked to try to determine who is willing to serve on this, and in particular, if anybody, if you willing to volunteer as chair. Or direction.
What do you consider this one?
The number,
The number?
does anybody have a suggestion? When I started put on that is usually more than 7 gets difficult.
I was gonna say 7 is like the default.
Most town boards and commissions are 7 people.
5 or 7.
It's a working board, right? They're
Right.
not making mistakes decisions, so like,
And the
quality of people that have the real time to come in and do the work. I think
Yeah.
it's
task forces are advisory, they make recommendations to the board. We need to say, so it's a lot of study and work time,
Yes.
so I think the retro drafted for 7. Say members, you take applications and it's Mayor Pro Tem Williams has already done some preliminary recruitment and sounds like the Big Sparks has as well, so I will be able to find 7 people, of whom 1 will be willing to serve as chair. Sure.
Could it possibly in this case be a co-chair too sometimes? If they're not really a decision-making board looking.
Yep.
Group. That's-
A good suggestion, people not be willing to share the responsibility, and particularly when you're gonna get busy over the summer.
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense. Okay, the next item on the general business is discussion and direction on Lions Municipal Code cleanups. And I circulated a list of possible items on that. And the origin The origin of that list, was actually, earlier I've been on the board, as a trustees, 6 years and too often. Sometime way back in the distant past, as we would come across things in the code, I would make a note, oh, this doesn't match what we do. And that's what most of these are. I would say that in particular, the last two, I just added recently, but, they're on, emergencies on the town water system and watering restrictions that are actually for some reason specified in the Lions Municipal Code. I don't know if people know what's there. That came from discussions of Utilities Director Kaplan and the Utilities Engineering Board. They are working on a proposed ordinance changes to address both of those things. So those are coming in the future. They were just on my list because after the UEB started discussing the questions that needed to be fixed. A couple of these are fairly simple. The Lions Municipal Code designates the town clerk as the parliamentarian for board meetings. It's always been the practice that, back as far as I can remember, that the town attorney serves in that role. That simply would be conforming code amendment to existing practice. Another one that kind of falls in that category is the fifth one of our code provides that it takes a majority vote to go into executive session. We're a statutory town. We're governed by the state code, and the state statutes provide that it takes 2/3 vote to go into executive session. So that would just be conforming to the state statute. The other three there, if we could just take them one at a time, I guess. Does anybody have any comments on those? Those seem like fairly routine things to me. There's also provision in the code about joint meetings with the planning commission being held twice per year in the first and third quarters.
Once statutory.
Schwartz has been the chair of the CDC, and there have been some joint meetings, but as far as I know, that's not routinely followed.
Probably. And does a workshop count as a meeting or?
As a joint meeting.
It has to be a joint meeting. It's specified in statute once per year.
So, question is just, do we need to change the code to conform with practice?
What's the consequence?
You can still have it. Yeah, and that's the case with a number of things that
Yeah.
we haven't. I can tell you some years we have not.
I mean, theoretically, a citizen could sue us and enjoin us to have that meeting. Maybe DOLA could decide to pull our funding for not complying with state law. Both those are very unlikely possibilities.
Really just another. And again, we're not going to vote on these today. We would amend all these things by ordinance that would require going through public things, which just didn't limit your discussion. The third thing I would like to put in Director, I still miss you tonight. The question is, does the town clerk really collect the use tax? Is that what the town clerk does, or do other defer to the town administrator on that?
That's a great question, because it depends on what kind of use tax. Boulder County, Motor V collects use tax and remits it to us. The town clerk is CC'd on the email, but so am I. And then as far as building use tax, that comes in when they file the permits and pay for the permits, so.
It actually goes through that.
It goes through multiple offices, so I think it depends on the type of use tax, but, yeah.
For the other town tax that we principal one that we collect locally is our lodging tax.
Mhm.
And I know that the code for lodging tax designates town administrator as the collector, but the town administrator can delegate her authority to whoever she wants to. And so my thought on that is that we would make it consistent. Town administrator or her designee, it could be the town clerk if you wanted.
Sure.
Would be in charge of basically collecting local taxes at pretty much any time to make it consistent. You have any?
I think that language is because originally the town was set up as a town clerk and treasurer.
Yeah.
And I think the code still says that. So anything to do with the treasury is gonna say town clerk in the code. We would have to do a search and replace kind of, we didn't have a finance director when
That's
the
a
town was.
Back in the day, yeah.
I mean, default's elected. At some point, you went to non-elected clerk, so.
It could be that there are other provisions in the town code that refer to treasurers and just an office. As long as we're doing cleanup, it makes sense to clean those up as well. Discussion on that aspect of it. And then the last one might lead to a little bit of discussion. It's something that has been discussed from time to time, but never actually action taken on it, which is there's a provision in the Lions Municipal Code that says sidewalks are the property owner responsibility. If you have an old cracked sandstone sidewalk in front of your house, it's your responsibility to bring it up to modern code standards. Entertain discussion on that as to whether that is a practical part of them.
So let me just give you an example here. So on McConnell Drive, I don't know if you've seen it, but coming in, there's a block of sidewalk that kids quite frankly are using for skateboard jumps, because this thing is probably 8 inches high. It's totally impractical for the homeowner to go out there and fix the sidewalk with the necessary equipment, removal of the debris. There's a number of sidewalks in town that have this issue, and Dave's here as the public works director, and in your, well, I would ask you, in your 25 years, have you ever encountered a situation where a homeowner actually fixed the sidewalk?
We do it all the time.
All the time.
Yeah,
How do they propose to do the concrete?
you hire someone to do it. This is the same situation that we face about trees. We don't allow trees to be planted in on the right of way or between curbs and sidewalks for this exact reason. So if people are planting illegal trees and then it grows up and now it hurts the sidewalk, why should the town have to consider? So most of the problems you're seeing on the main sidewalks are due to trees that have been planted that the town didn't. And now we're expected to maintain those and the sidewalk.
So follow-up question. In the case of Lions Mountain Pond, for example.
Yes.
It was the builder who planted the trees, and the houses in question, they probably passed hands 2, 3, 4 times. So the property owner, the third property owner was responsible for fixing the sidewalk, but he really had no part.
Well, the town didn't either. So it's a tough one. It's a tough one. So no, I think this would warrant a workshop and discussion because the staff is more than happy to enforce sidewalks, but we have to have the support of trustees if you want us to do that. If you don't, we're gonna need to build a full budget for sidewalks.
Yeah, of course, the issue is there, if you decide to enforce it on one property, you know, what do you do with the other
Sure.
200 in town?
Mhm.
Yeah, I'll give you an example, High Street, Full Street, old houses. Problem there isn't trees, it's that years ago, sandstone sidewalks have been in it and they cracked in the last 90 years.
Well, and those are historic and they have to go through that review.
And
We
so,
would love to replace them.
so the question is, would the town ever tell one of those property owners, you've got to go fix that sidewalk and go
think
through
we
the
have.
house?
We have before
Yeah,
in Old Town on Evans.
Trustee Williams.
When we built the Evans property, we put in sidewalks. We had, as part of our deed, recorded the requirement that we would clear right-of-way improvements with the town. And that we would maintain the improvements that we had made, including the sidewalks. And the sidewalks in that case extend not just across our double property, but onto the neighbor's property. And there was a presumption that from that property line on, those people would take responsibility for it. And hopefully we've installed something that won't require a lot of maintenance for many years, but it was a deeded requirement that if we as a body decided that we wanted to change our enforcement policy on it, we would have to think about what that means to people's property records.
I have a question
Trustee Goldberg.
for Attorney Dittmer. So what is the legal responsibility or liability of the town should somebody be injured on the sidewalk I just described?
So under the CJA, the Colorado Government Immunity Act, there are exceptions, and one of them is a dangerous known condition of a right of way or sidewalk. But it's a very high bar for it to be dangerous, one, and two, known. And so if its sidewalk was bad enough, we would potentially have liability for that.
There are a couple in that area. God. Serious, yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, we should probably do something about that.
So you're saying that if the person would that they can seek action against the town?
Theoretically, I mean, every case is different, but theoretically, if it was a sidewalk injury, there would be an exception with a very high bar they could possibly meet.
Mr. Jacobs.
And they could also seek recourse against the property owner.
They'd probably do both, yeah. I mean, it's a plaintiff's attorney, you're gonna sue everybody.
Mr. Jacobs.
And I'm thinking the purpose of this is for the town to be able to pay these these things. That, hey, you're actually responsible for this. And if you don't repair, if I'm reading this correctly, then the town can repair it and then bill it. And I worry if you take away the property owner responsible for the sidewalk, what about people who want to repair their sidewalks? Are we taking away their ability to actually do that? What's the consequence there?
I mean, if the town's responsible, it's our, when there's no other authorization, yeah, people couldn't do it unless they came to us, and got a license.
Mr. Rules.
I don't have a position on whether we should or shouldn't do this yet. I think it's worth talking about. I do think that it's complicated by the fact that we're not just talking about maintenance of sidewalks, but it is about trees. And it is about clearing snow and ice from sidewalks. And in many cases, sidewalks and driveways are the same element. And then we start talking about the sewer lines and the water lines that go through that same right of way. It becomes a very complicated question. And I'm not saying we shouldn't take it on, but it's not obvious to me that we could solely talk about the maintenance or even the installation of sidewalks and ignore this.
Sounds like the consensus of the board is we would like to discuss this further at a workshop at some point, explore the implications of keeping it or repealing it, and whether other provisions such as trees need to be considered. This one may be more complicated than the others, but so you know, if it's consensus of the board, we will direct staff to prepare appropriate materials on that and schedule it at a future workshop.
In the meantime, you'd like us to prepare the other corrections, though.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I did not
So
hear
that's-
that the rest of them
Yeah.
were.
It's pretty straightforward.
Just housekeeping, yeah.
Easy correction.
We can do that.
And also, if this is a consensus of the board, if they're doing that, if you mentioned there's still references other places to the town treasurer that doesn't use this anymore. One of the reasons that I never pushed this in past boards was it costs us money to do notices, hearings, publication, everything, every time we fix an ordinance, and so none of these seem to be worth doing that on their own. But if we're gonna do a set of cleanups, it'd be easier to do them all at once, and so you see others. Suggest those as well.
Oh, let's maybe not rewrite the land use.
I have a lot of things that would kind of non-substantive, right, where we require paper copies of certain things where we're electronic now, right? Like things like that don't require like a policy decision, we can probably include. We can certainly flag anything maybe for discussion that we see that we think is probably worth talking about while we're doing this. That's not super substantive, but maybe a little substantive. So, but yeah, I don't have anything like, I don't have a running list, but I can sure think of a few things.
My intent of the not to try to get into such policy changes, the sidewalks maybe, so that may be something that we decide to go forward on. Unless the discussion brings.
I think it makes sense to compile a simple list. I would support these other 6 changes. I would say that we should try to keep the number of changes to a minimum, that we shouldn't try to fix every nit that we have in the code. And the other philosophical approach, I think, is that we should have as few requirements as possible. So if we thought that we needed a requirement for the PCDC to meet with the board of trustees twice and once is okay, let's go with once. And I would use that Occam's razor approach anywhere we can. If there's something that's not critical, that people don't have a vested interest in, that's a vestige of some older policy or approach, let's drop it. The simpler, the better.
Okay, thank you. The next item is trustee report, since you've been a trustee for about 30 minutes. I don't have a trustee report either, but I do want to mention a couple of things for the benefit of both the public and people that just joined the board. Is in terms of what trustee reports have been used for in the past. One of their functions in the past, to the current, has been, it's kind of a free speech opportunity for trustees if there's something that you feel compelled to make public or raise as an important issue for the county, that's your chance to do it if it's not on the agenda. If you raise it during trustee reports, you're not going to vote on it then because it wouldn't have been noticed out to the public. And so it might be set on a future agenda. Or maybe just be something you want to notify the town about, but it's a chance. It's kind of like a Hyde Park corner, as I've always thought about it with trustees. Free speech opportunity. Although I will say, if we keep trustee reports at the end of the meetings, and if some meetings go long, the trustees who tend to go long on their reports at 11:15 at night, their audience is both limited in number and limited in capacity to absorb. So I would say keep that in mind. The other thing that's really the important part of trustee reports, my prior terms on the board, have been if there are things that a trustee would like to place on the future agenda, that's the chance to suggest. I would really like at a future meeting that we take up this item. And it could be something that's important to you. It could be something that a citizen has brought to you. And so I really wish the board of trustees would do that. And again, it wouldn't be voted on then. And those things may vary from the simple to the complex. And so some of those might require staff research and memo writing and data to be brought back to us. But that would be the way to start the process. And I will say, as the mayor, that I take those trustee requests for agenda items quite seriously, and I intend to honor them. There have been times in the past where some trustees had difficulty getting items that they wanted the board as a whole to discuss on an agenda in a timely manner. But it would be my policy to try to get those scheduled as soon as it's practical to do so. And I think that's the case whether I agree with them or not, or whether even I think the board majority agrees with them or not. I think trustees have the right to bring ideas to the board, bring citizens' ideas to the board. And it may be that the initial reaction seems negative by a majority of the trustees, or it's probably not something we want to do, it's too complicated. But I think the trustee has the right, and in some cases the duty, to discuss with the board what led them to request that item. And who knows, some trustees may be able to convince a majority of the board, hey, even though at first glance you may not think this is the thing to do, here's why. Here are the reasons why I think it would work, and we have a discussion about it. And so I would just emphasize to the new trustees and to citizens who might want to have the board take up items of importance to them, talk to your elected representatives, and if you're particularly close to one of them and would like them to bring your ideas before the board, that's the way to do it on the trustees report. That's what that part of the agenda is supposed to be. Any discussion input on that, trustee Williams?
The only other item that I think we often use it for is just coordination of schedules. So if there's some event that we think the town should be represented at, we could have behind the scenes discussion just so that the mayor ensures that we've got some ambassador who can go handle it, but it might also be something that we just bring before the board and say, I'm happy to go do this thing, or I know we need somebody to do this thing.
So the other aspect that I meant that is that's when we do board and commission reports. We're all the liaisons to commissions, and that's how the board stays informed of what the various commissions are doing. And trustee report, you report on what your boards and commissions have been doing. Okay, is there a summary of action items?
I've got two things.
I'm sorry,
Were there any other trustees
any other trustee who wants to make reports or
or Sammy?
request agenda items or say anything as your
Well,
free speech rights?
yeah. Oh, boy, don't get me started. That's bad. I don't to say that, but I know trustee mentioned the regional working group on homelessness and that's something that we're interested in willing to take on. That is, and I think it fits well with the housing services.
Yeah, we've discussed that on the agenda setting. I think we can put that on the future agenda to discuss what the scope is and we should be able.
Thank you. Looking forward to our training tomorrow and other trainings to come. So looking forward to working.
Below.
Yeah, the ecology board would normally meet. Next month. But they're normally meeting, to support the earthquake events, so. Include your offer on Saturday or any other events.
Yes, I believe the Lions Volunteer Organized Cleanup Session starts at 8 o'clock Saturday morning. I'll invite anybody to join me on that permission post. Trustee Williams.
On May first, there's a symposium at the University of Denver on housing strategies for mountain towns. I'm not sure that's quite our category, but I think in some ways it describes the position that we're in along with a lot of other smaller communities. And I'm happy to attend that. I'll bring a report back if you'd like.
Right. That's good. Trustee McCreary.
I am looking forward to learning more, being here, serving as I can.
Once again, thank you all for stepping forward into Mayor Pro Tem Wingard, who was looking forward to her. I met with her for about an hour and a half yesterday before she left on her trip this morning, and she's looking forward to serving on this board as well. Action items.
One, I've got town staff is to work on a draft resolution for the Sundance Task Force modeling other communities and with a max of 7 members. Next, I have a sidewalk workshop on a future agenda, and then I also have the regional homelessness representation on a future agenda.
Then the cleanup ordinance and staff to compile their list of additional corrections.
There is nothing further. Entertaining a motion to adjourn. Several motions to adjourn. I'll tell you what.
This will be your shortest meeting, so
Right.
enjoy. Sorry.
And that motion passes unanimous.
Everyone.